morning, all. You join me on the morning commute. It is another very crisp and chilly morning. 16 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, again, somewhere in the neighborhood of -8, -10 degrees centigrade. I have the Omega Speedmaster triple date on the wrist today. Really nifty little piece. It is one of the reduced models, so I believe the case size is 38 millimeters. But the triple date is a really neat, complicated variant of the traditional take on the Speedmaster. So I'm rather fond of that one. Smoking an Oliva cigar this morning. A little bit more of a full-bodied experience, in stark contrast to the Drew Estate that I had yesterday. Enjoying a lovely Wegmans Colombian roast coffee. It's a crisp morning. I've got this sort of nice outfit going on today. I've got a white turtleneck and a sort of maroon sweater with a nice brown jacket on top. Not entirely sure why I felt compelled to bring that to your attention, but really it's rather lovely. Fond of how this outfit came together. So speedy on the wrist. It's a nice morning. At least it will be once you can start to see my face with natural sunlight instead of these LEDs that I've installed in the car. I do kind of regret doing that, by the way. These LEDs in the reading lamps. I put LEDs throughout the whole car. So LED headlamps, fog lamps, reverse lamps, everything. And I went with that sort of nice white shade. I don't like it when people retrofit those really blue LEDs. They look like somebody put a filter over a regular halogen light. What they look like. These have much more of a factory look to them. So, and they really do make all the difference as well. Something like 22,000 lumens, I want to say. I should look that up. Didn't think I'd be talking about my LED headlamp brightness this morning, but here we are. Let's see. People are actually managing to do the speed limit today, which is rather kind of them, because yesterday was just abysmal. I lose steam when people don't drive properly. I get very frustrated with that. It's like, people, just do the speed limit. Would you please just do the speed limit? I ran the Super Cup this morning, so that was, battery was a little flat. Okay, yeah, well, it was 10 degrees where I had it stored, so I guess that sort of stands to reason, but I got it going. I try to run it every morning, especially with when the temperature gets kind of Arctic like this. But now I understand that it's going to dip into the single digits this weekend. So we're at Thursday, and the weekend obviously is upon us soon. Like the Pet Shop Boys song states, Thursday, then Friday, it's soon going to be the weekend. Yeah. Yeah, after this weekend, it's actually going to go back up to about 40 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit. So it seems as though we're getting these little pockets of nippiness, and the rest is, this has actually been a very, very temperate winter, with minimal snowfall. Although when I went for my morning run today, I will say it was very, very icy. So I go trail running every morning, and my running partner actually slid and fell, which I've only ever seen him do on, I think, one other occasion. So that's when you know things are extreme. I'm gonna use my Waze here. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there. There we go. How's my audience this morning? Maybe that's the question I should be asking. How's my audience? Drop it in the comments below. We can have a back and forth dialogue going here. Maybe I don't know, respond to comments each day. Shall I? Well, I don't want to pull up the news. I kind of want to keep it neutral. The world's in a sad state of affairs anyway. You all know that. So, it's dark and dismal. Dark and disturbed. What a nice morning. I guess I don't really have anything else to say at the moment. Maybe if you want to get my opinion on something, maybe you can pop it in the comments section. I can't imagine these vlogs are going to get terribly many hits. I don't know. Maybe you like seeing people talk about nothing. So far I've covered my car's headlamps. I did actually want to talk about, I will say this before I sign off. Maybe it'll be something else, who knows. I don't know. I did want to talk about Android Auto. So in yesterday's vlog I mentioned that temperature is dipping even farther. It's getting down, it's 13 degrees now. Yesterday I had mentioned that I put in an Android Auto head unit and I installed a wireless dongle in the center console. And when I initially started using Android Auto years ago, I think it might have been sometime around 2000. I want to say it was 16 or 17. It was a much different experience than it is now. It is much, much better. It used to be so intrusive and so limiting, which I'm not saying is necessarily a bad thing insofar as driving is concerned, but you know, the actual software experience of Android Auto was clunky at best. Well, now they've really refined it, and I just got the new Android Auto update yesterday. It's supposed to bring that multi-function experience into the mix, and it's nice. The one thing I will say, and if this makes its way back to Google, the app power button on the bottom left-hand corner doesn't always respond. It used to just respond if I pressed the very bottom left-hand corner. Now I have to deliberately press the grid. And because this is a resistive touchscreen, not a capacitive one, it's not always as responsive. So it used to be nice to just sort of, especially when you're driving and you're not necessarily wanting to take your eyes off the road, you just put your index finger, in the bottom left-hand corner. But now the very bottom left-hand corner is kind of no longer functional. And that only came with the update. So if Google, you could rectify that issue, incessant ramblings would be very appreciative. And I'm sure maybe a few other people as well. But I pick up on those things. Other than that, it's pretty good. I just wanted to keep, I'm interested more in the performance enhancements rather than really at this point any functional improvements. I'm not necessarily sure how you would really improve upon the user experience, especially with the sort of two-window approach. That maybe I still have to get that. It hasn't reached my device yet. Or maybe this head unit doesn't support it. But it would be nice to have the map and then maybe a column for the music playback. That would be my biggest feedback, because I know that it's in the works. Maybe it's just allocated for larger displays. Isn't this nice? It's nice. You just get to, I don't know, maybe this could be like one of those ASMR videos. You hear my neck crack? Is that an ASMR? What is ASMR anyway? Auto-sensory meridian response or something? Something like that? I should start an ASMR trend for a cracking neck. Oh, you know what I could do? I just had this thought. Sorry, this is getting long-winded. I could start talking about cinema. That was an early initiative of this channel, if you can actually believe it. I did want to discuss some cinema. I could start doing that on these commute vlogs. You don't have to watch these commute vlogs. If you're still here at this point, you're watching this of your own volition. I am not about to sit here and say this is anything to rave about, because it's not. It's actually pretty dreadful. I need someone with whom I can banter, play off a little bit. I have someone should interview me, or I should interview someone. I should start carpooling. I'm always amused, by the way, passing a nicely decorated truck there. Am I the only person who's amused by the different lighting configurations on those articulated lorries? No, sorry, they're not in this country. They're just lorries. gauge how well the economy is doing by how quickly a truck is able to make it up an incline. So if they're going very much under the speed limit, it means they're carrying a full load, which means, with any luck, the economy is trucking along. Of course, if you've got a fleet of lorries that just turning, Interstate 80 into the Indianapolis 500, well, then we've got some economic problems. There are pragmatic ways to tell these sorts of things, I think. Like in-flight. This is like the in-flight sound. You can just stream this in the background, and it's like somebody's talking on a really loud airplane. I need my Bose Quiet Comfort noise-canceling earbuds for this. I actually tried those Sennheiser Momentums out. They're really good. I had the Momentum 4s for a little while. They sound fantastic. But God, I hate active noise cancellation. Especially if you're in an active environment, which is where it's supposed to work. Sudden noises shock them. They don't know how to respond, so they create the inverse frequency as quickly as they can, and it just makes this popping sound, and it's deeply unpleasant. Okay, I've decided that I should probably end this video. There is nothing constructive that I have to say at this point. I mean, the sky is very gray today. It's just, we're launching into February rather strong. Always get into the left lane when someone is entering a freeway. If traffic allows for it, of course. However, if you're not passing, get the hell out of the left lane. That is one of my all-time greatest pet peeves. No, not a pet peeve. That's a major psychotic hatred. Get out of the left lane unless you have to use it. The idea is, it's kind of like the free market of ideas. You know about this theory? The marketplace of ideas. You have all of the ideas, and that would be the right lane. This is an analogy here. This is how my warped mind works. The marketplace of ideas is the right lane. So everybody's in the right lane. The best ideas advance ahead of the fray, and it should be done as needed. And whomever is has the best idea gets the farthest ahead. Okay? So you leave the left lane up for that. Don't minimize use of the left lane, because it should be reserved exclusively for going faster than whomever is on the right lane. And then you get people who make it a very deliberate point of contention to just hang out in the left lane because they know it irritates people who actually enjoy and or are serious about driving. There should almost be a minimum required speed for the left lane. Should almost be like speed limit, but if you're going to use the left lane, you should be doing a minimum of, let's say nationally. I'm just thinking about this right now. Nationally, you up the speed limit to 80 miles an hour. Let's just say that on a freeway. Which, at this point, it probably should be, because vehicles are sophisticated enough that, well, the whole reason that the speed limits, that we have the expectations of speed limits that we do today, it was actually due to the petrol crisis in the 1970s. That's the reason. So automobiles are more than capable of handling 80 miles an hour all day long on a freeway. With that being said, let's say nationally you up the speed limit to 80 miles an hour. So you have that with which you can work. Let's say keep it comfortable to cruise at 70 miles an hour. So you want people ideally between 70 and 80 miles an hour. If you're in the left lane, you should be doing a minimum of 70 miles an hour. That frees it up to pass anybody on the right lane who may not feel comfortable taking it up to 80. Or otherwise. So, that's my diatribe. I don't know why I bought this GoPro. I'm at a loss for it. I mean, not at a loss for it, but I had all these grand visions of strapping into my bicycle and doing these long excursions, you know, because during the summertime I do very, very long cycling excursions. You know, a nice Saturday for me is a 100-mile ride, which is great. The problem is, when you're going that distance, aerodynamics play a big role. And when you've got a big slab of a GoPro tethered in any part, you know. Now that's drag. I don't know what the drag... Anybody know what the drag coefficient of a GoPro is? If you know, tell me. I'd love to know what the drag coefficient, the airspeed velocity of an unladen GoPro. No, I would love to know what the drag coefficient of an unladen GoPro actually is. Because I would imagine, you know, if you attach it to the outside of the vehicle, that would introduce a fair amount of excess drag. wish that EV technology was more fully developed. Because the model for someone with a commute like myself of 62 miles each way, model isn't quite there yet. Especially during winter time. I mean, the battery, I assume, especially with all the accessories that I charge and everything, the battery would be flat in no time. 62 miles up and back, 100, let's say on an efficient day, a minimum of 130 miles, you know. But people go much farther than that, especially if you have grocery shopping that you must handle. And when it's cold, I don't know what sort of impact that has on an EV battery, but I assume it would be rather significant. You know, I don't know if an EV would have 120 miles of range in it every day at temperatures like these, and this is a temperate winter so far. You know, last winter it was routinely in the negatives. I mean, it was really cold. I'm gonna stop at Wegmans for my next cup of coffee. They say, or so I've heard, that America runs on Dunkin'. You may have heard this yourself. But I think the world runs on coffee. So if the world runs on coffee, then America runs on Dunkin'. That should be their next slogan. The world runs on us. I went to adjust my sunglasses just there, and they weren't on me. Which I think means it's time to pull out the Persols. I'm a fan of Persol as a sunglass company. They're like Ray-Bans for fashionistas. Got a late 90s Forerunner, I think. Huge respect for that generation. I believe they did a 4-cylinder and a 6-cylinder. I don't know if there was ever an 8-cylinder Forerunner of that generation. I may be wrong. I may be wrong, I may be right. I would find it extremely amusing if this completely pointless video went viral. It's like an exercise in modernist filmography. It doesn't have to have a point. Is that modernism or is that postmodernism? Debate in the no, don't do that. I want this to be do it. I don't care. Ever the contrarian. I don't know if modernism is exactly what I'm thinking about. What am I thinking about? Not modernism. What's the movement that the lack of a point becomes its point? It's raison d'etre. What is that philosophy? My goodness. The body is awake. The sensory neurons appear to be firing, but Mr. Brain is still asleep. Apparently. Maybe it never woke up. Maybe reality, maybe consciousness is an illusion. And maybe everything that I thought I had experienced consciously is really just one giant farce. It's not real. It's fake. Need a cigar. Stopping off at my favorite cigars. They're closed. Okay. Well, bloody hell. They open at 7:30. Oh, it's only 7:30. Okay, I'll give them time. Going down an alleyway here. Morning commute made exciting. Hope you're enjoying this, viewers. Where am I going? Where the hell am I going? Left turn signal indicated. Good. Left turn signal again. Get a pastry. I'm gonna get a pastry. This is the game plan, peeps. I'm going to get a pastry for brekkie. Spot of brekkie. And I'm gonna get a coffee. And I'm actually going to, instead of going to Weggies, I'm going to go to a local roaster. Yeah, so the Speedmaster. Oh, I forgot to start the chronograph. I had to reset the chronograph. Here we are. Time for coffee. Where are we? There we are. It's up there. You would think I have the world's worst sense of direction known to humanity. I mean, seriously. It's awful. I've lived here for, you know, the better part of 27 years. And I still managed to get lost. I will find a way. I'm like the absent-minded professor without the credentials. I am educated, by the way. I'm not saying that I'm not. Just, you know, not full-on professorial level there. Alright, I'm gonna stop this video, and then what I'll do is I'll stitch it together in Macintosh, because in QuickTime Player you can actually do that. I will do that. All right. Excuse me, let me do that again. All right. We have coffee. It's a little burnt, but I won't complain. Picked up a cigar on a baton. I bought a cinnamon roll and a Danish. Always gotta get the Danish. I'll pick up some Danish for Belle. They got Danish in. I need the Cadillac Seville. I don't know if you just heard that. A little piece of trivia for you. I used to think that was a steam train as part of some sort of excursion railroad. It's not. It's actually the old shift siren at one of the factories here. I guess it's still functional. So I like that. It's got a very old worldy charm to it. It's like old school factory. I don't know if I just heard it again or if that was my imagination. If anyone's interested in the wrapper of this one, it's an Oliva. Nice coffee. Just be drenched, bathed in a sea of cigar ash by the time I get to the office. Just caked in it. Like some sort of Neolithic volcanic artifact. I do love cigars. I really do. In case that wasn't abundantly evident. I even made my doctor wait one time for me while I finished up a cigar. Health and safety for you there. As a matter of fact, if you look at the channel archives, it was the Seiko Alpinist video on the NATO strap. Waze, got a report, hazard on shoulder, vehicle stopped. Always use Waze, people. I can't stress that enough. Yeah. Soft close windows working today, by the way. It must be a timer thing. If you use it too much, it stops soft closing. That is a highly underrated feature. More cars should have soft close. I said this yesterday. I'll say it again. Soft close windows. this overwhelming sentiment that everything's really just a pile of rubbish. I get that sentiment frequently. It's a beautiful morning. More neck-cracking ASMR for you there. Oh, yeah. Oh. Alright, I'm going to cut this vlog short today. Not sure what we learned today. Well, what did we learn today? Most things are dreadful. Cigars are fantastic. Only upgrade to LED headlamps if you're going to choose a factory shade. Persols are for fashionistas. And the coffee's a bit burnt. Anything else? No? Alright. Have a great day, people. People. It took a while for me to get out. Isn't it terrible when bad things happen to good sentences? Okay, people. Before I go, not that I left, not that you'd notice, last night I did this really cool salt cave thing at my local spa, and they hooked up what appeared to be like a car battery in a tub of water, put my feet in it, and then put some salt shakers in there. And it was supposed to extract something from me. I'm not entirely sure what. But it changed color and things, so I guess it pulled something out. And then I went into a sauna, an infrared sauna, for like an hour. And it was really, really great. I told them to overclock the thing because I'm a little bit extreme. I could only get it up to a, upper 100s, like 190-ish. Tried as I might. I couldn't, it was very difficult. It was very difficult to get up any farther. And then I did the salt cave thing, which was really interesting. They sprayed ionized salt or something like that into the air. You're supposed to breathe it in, and it scrapes things out of your lungs or something like that. It felt good. I'm not sure, it's gonna take a lot more than a salt cave to take all the tar out of my mouth. You don't inhale a cigar. Obviously, cigar people know this, but you would be so surprised at how many people tell me, it's like, oh, cigars are so hard on your lungs, they're so much harsher than cigarettes. No, they're harsher than cigarettes because you're breathing them in. That's why. I've never touched a cigarette in my life. I don't do it. Not saying this is necessarily better. I just haven't touched a cigarette. There's something very contemplative about a cigar, you know? A person who smokes a cigar takes his or her time smoking it, or at least you're supposed to. A cigarette is rushed. A cigarette is a cigar is you're tasting the flavor notes. You're tasting everything. And it's lovely. I don't know why I made that face there. Sometimes I do goofy faces. I don't know why, I just do. It's like a nervous tick or something like that. Oh, what's wrong? Oh, I just have anxiety. This ash is getting ready to fall. And I don't want to bathe in this volcano any more than I already have. So there we go. Love airports. Only saying that because I just drove past one. It's gotta be a big airport. I hate pedaling around tiny airports. You get these puddle jumper flights. And then you have these massive layovers. That just drove past me. He looked angry. That's a shame. I don't want people to be angry or sad. I want people to be happy. I mean, the world sucks enough as it is. Need a sea of citizens going about their business with a chip upon their shoulder? I think not. That's the exit for my office. See, I have the worst sense of direction. I said this earlier. It's like literally, if it didn't look kind of vaguely familiar, I would have missed it. It was like, that looks like a turn I take. I just realized this is kind of like, I don't know if any of you watch Rick and Morty at all. It's clever. It's clever. I'm not one of those diehard fans, but there are elements of it that I find deeply amusing in that interdimensional cable is a concept that, like, I could kind of see this vlog appearing on interdimensional cable. Oh, geez, Rick. This the whole video. He's just driving. Yeah. How about that, Morty? Another stoplight. I keep forgetting that Toyota and Subaru have like an entire industrial division. Subaru has, is it Fuji Heavy Industries? And Toyota has Toyota Industrial Equipment, as is evidenced by the propaganda on the vehicle in front of me. Oh geez, Rick, no, I was talking about Fuji Heavy Industries. Oh, this is the new BMW. I can't even be bothered to, is it the I, not the I. Oh, that's the, is that the 4 Series? Who thought that grill was a good idea? No, I loathe that grill. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get kind of heated for a moment there. That grill is abysmal. If you haven't looked up the new BMW corporate grill, don't. Well, I mean, you will now because you're like, oh, I've got to see this thing. No, it's bad. It looks like a baby vomited on its idea for what a car ought to be. So it sketched it out, and then it took a violent vomit all over its design. I mean, it's that bad. You know what's up with BMW? I really, really liked their design language throughout the last decade. But, I don't know. It's like, every time I see it now, it's like, it looks like its jaw just unhinged and fell to the ground. Being slightly, I'm exaggerating slightly here. Its jaw really only fell nearly to the ground. Back there, Burger King, the bastions of American culture. BK, have it your way. Yeah, well, my way is health. Clearly. Thank you very much. Morning. Is that gate closed? It's like time. It's time to come to work. They have the gate closed. Speed bumps. Speed bumps exist to make lifted vehicles more fun. Just make, there's another one. Make life miserable for the rest of us. Here's a brilliant idea. I'm just gonna tear the undercarriage out of your car for no arbitrary reason. What was that? Huh. It's a block of ice fell off or something like that. The car's still success. In which case, I have a few minutes. Sit here for a few minutes. This is called an El Baton. This is the Robusto. 5 inches by 54. Very nice. A most lovely cigar. That will be my evening commute. Check out my cinnamon bun. I even popped it in a bag for me. DK, have it your way. Well, my way is very clearly health. Right? I mean, look at these health options here. Look at, this is just a sea of I should open an organic farm. Yeah, the Seamaster. Speedmaster. Everything is master with Omega. Master chronometer. Right? That's Omega, or is that Rolex? No, that's superlative chronometer. Master coaxial movement. I wholeheartedly commend you if you are still watching this. Heat wave, 16 degrees Fahrenheit. This must be the most pointless video I think I've ever done. Okay, so check out the outfit today. Nice maroon sweater played against a white turtleneck. Like I said earlier, leather jacket. I'm not a big blue jeans fan, and as a matter of fact, the pair that I am wearing is the only pair that I own. And I wash it every night, and if it fits the bill, I wear it. If not, you know, I prefer slacks. I always have. Seriously, I always have. Got my emergency slacks in the back here. See this? For in the event of, you know, brown is a nice sort of neutral color. It goes with quite a bit. Alright. I think you and I have both had enough of this. Thank you for joining me today. My massive kudos to you if you actually watched this thing in its entirety. Let me know. Don't fake it. Don't feign it. Bye. Take care of yourselves, people. I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao.